You're welcome to the show. Now, Member of Parliament-elect for Ofuasie Yurebi Kojo Opon Kroma says he will first focus on improving access to healthcare in the constituency. He said under the Nana Akufo-Addo NPP administration, they will invest more in agriculture, cut down on poultry import and create an enabling environment for the private sector to flourish. He spoke on the AM show earlier with Roland Walker.
Generally, we talked about what we call the 5-point plan for Achimansa. We talked about supporting investment in education, supporting healthcare. We talked about lobbying for development. We talked about supporting the local economy, and we talked about improving advocacy and representation for our people. And the details, I think, made a lot of sense to our people, and they voted for it. In this first year, we expect to go heavy on our education interventions. We expect to go heavy on our health interventions. In the area of education, for example, what we promised and what we are going to do in the first year, 2017, is to set up what we call the Achimansa Education Trust Fund. Seed money, which will be made up of about 25% of my personal salary as a member of parliament as seed money. And then we'll raise a lot of money. I'll come ask you for some money at that point in time. We'll raise a lot of money for it to support various education interventions so that we have a systemized approach to supporting education. I know the MP dipping into his pocket every time to do that. That's one thing we'll be doing. The other thing we'll be doing in this first year also is dealing with the health interventions. We need to support a lot of our CHIPS compounds around in terms of medication, etc. A bit of, may I say, transportation for health-related initiatives. And most importantly, we are working on getting our first medical doctor, first resident medical doctor for the 100,000 people who live in Achimansa district. And it's a big blotch on our district, a district that has been around since 2004, and we do not have a medical doctor.
A stationary medical doctor.
A resident medical doctor. In fact, we don't have a medical doctor in the entire district. You have to go out of the district to get a medical doctor to attend to you. These are two priorities that in the first year we will be attending to. Of course, we'll start work on some of the economic support initiatives. When it comes to lobbying for infrastructure development, we have already done a bit of that, working with some of the NGOs to bring in a bit of help, some toilet facilities, some water facilities.
As President-elect Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is meeting the Accra Regional House of Chiefs and at Dodowa, and let's go live now and take a feed of what's happening there.
Konika chepo echepo ka anunyam ka eba me hu eba ke anunyam yo tami yo be ka wo baba ni o chami nye dente nye o chami enwemi gbe koni nchu ncha ni tumo no hale koni nke Mike ha president of the Traditional Council. Greater Accra Regional Council, House of Chiefs, I got only about trouble, only president.
Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. My daughter. Ulome. Manye hanya fe kankle oba yeho chi ke edromo ke emobo na le na mene bine ni waye walami oba sa wada le sheko aka wo fa pamoji yani afọ shiki e kẹni náà bá fọn ṣíkì sẹfẹ fún ìjọlẹ nẹnẹgbìnẹ ẹ ọba yẹwò dáṣe nínú ọkẹfọ yìí wà kẹkẹ nẹnẹ ìbàmìyàn àwọ wọn bá da ìhó wa sí kẹńkẹrẹ lẹpẹ ìjìmọ ní ìsàṣìdà akẹnẹkẹ tó ìjọlẹ náà ìkẹkìwọ. Nani ji enyo hue Madumo Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs na ke mancheme fe ni yoga ulome ke mancheme fe ni washi wodenche washanu ni ngene washile kong ajake shi eteta ni nyumba ke himeji na mekenye se mene gbine ekekuni yeliba Yehowa adaleshi no ba shile nko ke se bi fe enuchu mo papa na mechu ni mene gbine yeli aflanga wani wayo bi ene mene gbine iji wa mancheme fe Greater Accra wo wale yake wo for politics shi amlalo ni baba oba pia ni enuchu mapapa ni eyo enye echu ke hammambiye wo mancheme wo manyeme wo wulome ke wo mambi okawa ba piale ni eyimbe no ni na ke ni papa ni eyo ha ma agbene hu oba ya no ne nu nsia ke echa wo ke shanu sho ya na ko si na wo si bi ka je na ka oba he wo bi yo Once I won Yanueko won Daleshi. I can manage the
And you were just watching the president of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, that's Ni Okwe Kinkando. And the Sith, he's also the Osu Manchen. Basically, he was thanking the president-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for visiting them and also welcoming him, and we'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the Western Region branch of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, has begun a legal process seeking the annulment of results in the region. The party is contesting the election results of some 5 constituencies in that region where they lost parliamentary seat. The NPP say they are heading to court for an order to have ballot papers recounted manually or possibly run fresh elections in these constituencies. NPP Western Regional Secretary Charles Bisu spoke to me earlier on News Desk.
To the elections, we had 8 seats. The NDC were in the majority. And after this election, our target was a minimum of 16 seats. We had that minimum, and there was an extra 5 that were taken from us. That 5 is our Win, Swaman, Dwaboso, Amenfi Central, and Elembe.
That there was the other side alleged that there were some irregularities, and so they called for a recount at the collation center.
Exactly.
And I asked whether your polling agents were there.
Well, yes, they were there. That's why we actually.
And were they satisfied during the recount of the ballots?
We boycotted everything. We haven't signed any declaration. For example, in Amenfi Central, the military had to be brought in for the results to be declared. However, we directed that they boycotted. We haven't signed any documentation, so we're not part and parcel of that.
If you say you boycotted, do I take it to mean that you left the collation center?
No, the declaration after for example, Swaman, which is the smallest constituency in the region, 46 constituencies, we were winning, and then overnight it was changed, and NDC are leading with 12 points allegedly. Now, because it's the smallest constituency, so the figures, you realize that the figures that were taken wasn't that much, because then if it's huge, then we're going to know. But if you look at it in percentage-wise, then there's a problem there. Now, we boycotted it because they called the military in and all that, and we didn't want anything like that to happen, untoward to happen. We believe in the rule of law, so we are resorting to the court. But
yes,
what I'm saying is...
We'll get to that. I just want to get the understanding that if you had issues with a recount, what specific issues did you raise, and were those issues heeded? Were your demands heeded? We called for another recount, but we were told it wasn't going to be done. We can resort to court, which we are doing. And we are going to court. If you allow me to finish, we're buttressing. Our point was buttressed by Charlotte to say that the IT system at the EC headquarters was compromised. If that happens, then it's going to cascade to the constituency. For example, one person sits behind a computer and the figures are being called from the agents, and then he inputs them. Once he inputs them, he's the one who has privy to that information. After that, then it comes to us. So we believe something happened, and that has been buttressed by Charlotte Osei. We are going to court to seek a few reliefs. One, that an injunction be placed on the swearing in of these 5 constituencies, with those who think they've won, because we do not want people to go to Parliament through fraud. So we are going to stop that. 2, another relief that we are seeking is that the court directs that all the ballot papers are recounted. Now you're talking about taking a legal suit against, on this particular issue. When do you intend to take that action? We started the process over the weekend. Yesterday, our legal team in the region met some of our parliamentary candidates. We're putting evidence together today. They're going to continue with that. Once they finish with that, they give us the report. Then we speak to the national hierarchy, and then we proceed to court. How sure are you that you're going to get anything out of this? We believe in the rule of law of Ghana. The courts have said that. And she was undoubtedly one of the best women to head the Women and Children Affairs Ministry in the erstwhile Kufuor's regime. She lost her seat as MP for Gambaga Nanlergu, but she's back in politics again, not only representing her constituents again, but also the transition spokesperson on local government for the NPP. Seth Kwame Boateng has been spending some time with her today, speaking to her about the new patriotic party and what role women will play in this new government. Seth Kwame Boateng joins us live on the line now. Hello, Seth. Tell us exactly what she's been telling you. Hello, Seth Kwame Boateng. All right, so we are trying to restore contact to Seth Kwame Boateng there to tell us about one of the old faces we've known in Ghana's politics. And of course, I was saying earlier that she was undoubtedly one of the best women to head the Women and Children Affairs Ministry in the erstwhile Kufuor's regime, and she lost her seat as MP for Gambaga Nanlergu, but she's back in politics again, not only representing her constituents again, but also the transition spokesperson on local government for the NPP. And Seth Kwame Boateng has been spending some time with her. Let's try and see whether we can get Seth Kwame Boateng on the line. Hello, Seth, can you hear me? So we don't have Seth Kwame Boateng on the line. You're still watching News Today on Joy News, your election headquarters. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Yeah, welcome back to News Today on Joy News. And I was telling you about that interview Seth Kwame Boateng is having with Hajia Alima, that woman who was very active in the former President Kufuor's administration. We can now go to Seth and try to get an understanding of what Hajia has been saying. Hello, Seth Kwame Boateng. All right, so we'll get that later. Now, with the polls over and the transition process underway, the question on the lips of many Ghanaians is who will the president-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo choose to help him run his government? Speculations are rife on who will go where, and already some names are being circulated in the media as the first batch of ministers who will form the new government. Let's go to Dodowa, where the president-elect is currently meeting the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs.
About the NPP. So today that we're talking here, the majority party in Accra region MPP. After popular vote. We now 52% of the popular vote of Greater Accra. Into I can see MPP here. We are now the majority party in Greater Accra. We can it's only Manchester, Greater Accra here in New York. Sanimaba, me Mama Danesi. Me be far for New fake hand. Me ma hanye. Me be fair ni care. I can care Mohammed Gray. Ni Ghana flag abajende mita mafia ni hanya liakesi jeno koni wiekeke but fair money the harbor in Jamestown, in Tessie, all those things are coming to be done to bring progress and prosperity to Ghana. Sinishimona ni mimba machune lakesi nishimona ko beme ni ba kebu loku papa ni ke ibiake Mahamu advice and low make I'm a bear about what happened. One make panify in the traditional rulers of the state. I can look on Yano in your town in Mahan there. I can look on Nimi Fay, Nifre, Lakanasana Fair, make panify. Don't hesitate. Nobody should hesitate. My doors are wide open, especially to you, the chiefs and the people. Sina Kango, Masmo, ni family of the Lemekome, Femekome, see, get a meneke ya, Mitani mo family of the about family, Niba Wami, ni Michmo Mafia, if they Michmo Papa. Ghana, Sani Wonyo, J. Moku, Mukumisani, Ghana, Namasan, Regina Nakawuna, Ike, Banea, Mafia, Money Michmo, Ghana, Bikami, Akeba, Machula Juba, your family, your trash, your beer, it's a nigger one, never. No, that's the position. Middanesi, wow, echo, I can get baby a fair found again, a man, Kenya. Baby, I can, Shannon, it can be Baba. Before Benitia, and then warfare, Jack is one failure come. Mababiaco, Capon Libia to a Mababiaco, Nicola Baji, Evi, Kenokoya, Huni and Tamali away, no Mafia. What time in Ghana here? Kwame Kumacha of Black of Africa, like a black star, it has to shine for everybody to be able to make it in our country. No. No, but inside the video, you can hear me. Daniel Siwa, I can hear husband. I'm about you. Trap, Manyaba. Thank you very much, Eddie.
You were watching the president-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and beyond what he spoke in English, he also said that he asked the chiefs for their support and thanked them for accepting his call for him to meet them, and he said that he will meet them again. Now, with the polls over and the transition process underway, the question on the lips of many Ghanaians is who will the president-elect Nana Addo choose to help him run his government. Speculations are rife on who will go where, and already some names are being circulated in the media as the first batch of ministers who will form the new cabinet. So what will President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo look for in a potential appointee who will serve in his administration? He's been speaking to the BBC about this.
In the nosedive for the last 5 years. shrinking on an annual basis, and low growth, widespread unemployment, and huge debt. That's the reality of our situation in Ghana. And especially the unemployment amongst the youth has reached alarming proportions. And if we don't find a method of dealing with it, our country and society are going to run into all kinds of problems down the line. So my major priority is what we need to do to get our economy working again, expanding and growing rapidly.
A big part of your campaign was about rooting out corruption. How do you intend to deal with that?
We put out a whole lot of ideas, which are both again in our manifesto and in the things that I'm saying about institutional reforms, personal examples.
Now, she was undoubtedly one of the best women to head the Women and Children Affairs Ministry in the erstwhile Kufuor's regime. She lost her seat as MP for Gambaga Nanlerigo. But she's back in politics again, not only representing her constituent again, but also the transition spokesperson on local government for the NPP. Seth Kwame Boateng has been spending some time with her today, speaking to her about the new NPP and what role women will play in this new government. And Seth joins us on the line now. Hello, Seth. What has Haji Halima been saying?
I want to start. And you're representing your people again.
Yes.
Let's clear this one quickly. You are on the transition team. You are represent your party when it comes to local government.
Yeah.
Let's clear this quickly. What do you make of the seizure of toilets, the seizure of toll booths? How well can you explain this to your people to know that, because you have been told MPP people are doing that, that's according to the president. How well can you explain this to your people for them to understand that these are properties of the state and not for a political party?
Please, if I'm going to do explanation, then I will explain it to maybe the general public. I don't want to specifically say it's MPP who are doing that, because I'm coming from my constituency and I never saw any such incident. My constituency was peaceful, nothing happened. The neighboring constituency of Bumpodugu, Yunyo, Waluwale, I didn't see anything like that.
But you have been hearing.
Yeah, but I hear that these things are happening and all that. And the police are investigating, and they will I hope, and I think they will definitely find the culprits. And so I don't want to jump to the conclusion that it's MPP people. But I don't also want to jump to the conclusion it's any other body. But let me just talk generally about it.
That's right.
And the president-elect has already asked the party people, MPP members, please stay calm. Please stay calm. I mean, don't... do not take the law into your own hands. He's already talked to it, and I think I agree with him on that matter. And just generally to the Ghanaian public, I feel like this is state property. If we destroy state property, we are only impoverishing the state. We are impoverishing the state, so we should take things calmly and ensure that things move on smoothly. The transition is on, and I believe it's going to be a smooth transition. And people should not be in a hurry. They should just take things easily and take things calmly, and let's hold our state property.
You mentioned the transition going on. You are starting, I understand you are starting your meetings from tomorrow. So exactly what will you be doing? What role would you be playing as the one leading the local government team from your side?
Just looking at the handing over news on local government, what are the issues that they have dealt with, and what are the issues that we need to push forward. Basically, my work will be dependent mostly on the handing over notes.
But haven't you received your copy of the handing over notes?
We're going to receive that tomorrow.
Oh, so you are now going to study the handing over notes?
We'll get that tomorrow, yes. We'll get that tomorrow. But we started the preparatory and preliminary meetings and the preparatory meetings, especially on the MPP side.
Okay. So let's talk about women now. And we have about, is it 45 or 35 women in parliament now, which is meaning we have more women in parliament now. Exactly what worked this time round?
I know that from the MPP side we have 24 women.
That's right.
I don't know exactly the number on the other side, but I know the MPP side we have 24 women. When I was in parliament in 2004, we had 20 women. We had 20 women, and then the number was not 275. Yeah. So we've made a substantial increase. We've made some increase. I think MPP basically recognizes the role of women and want to support and push women forward. I believe that the party is interested in pushing women. And where women came out as candidates, they were supported. Well, everybody was supported, but women were also given encouragement to push and then go for election. And the women who stood at it, they're all very strong, they're hardworking, smart, hardworking, and at the end of the day, many of them gone.
So from where you sit, how much premium would Nana Akufo-Addo place on women when he finally assumes office?
I think Nana Akufo-Addo believes in gender equality, and he will want to see more women playing a strong role in his government, prominent role in his government. You can even see from the transitional team already, his transition team already. He has a lot of women representation on the transition team. And I've known Nana, and I know that he supports. He would want to see women placed in prominent role. He would want to encourage women, want to push for women gender equality in this country. So
Nana will be pushing for gender equality when he assumes office. That's what he's basically telling me.
Well, it depends on what you mean by gender equality. He's focused on, he sees women as equal in terms of what we can put out with men. So, but gender equality has a lot of variables, but definitely. But he would want to see women placed equally with men in every situation that we are confronted with. Yes, he doesn't have any hiccups about women being lower in terms of aspirations, women not being capable. He sees clearly that women are capable, and when given the role to play, they are able to execute it very well.
To be part of his transition team means probably you are very close to him. Do you have any ideas to how many women will be in his government, will be serving in his government?
I don't have an idea. I don't even have an idea if I will be serving as in his government. I don't have no such idea.
Aren't you likely to be retained in the local government ministry?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Transition team from there?
Not necessarily. Do you want me to start lobbying Nana on TV?
Would you want to lobby?
It looks like you are pushing me to start lobbying Nana on national TV. The fact that we are in this transition team doesn't mean that you are necessarily going to be there.
Would you want to be sent back to the Women's and Children's Ministry? Would you be happy?
Wherever they place me to think that I can best serve in
Where
my
can
government.
you best serve when he places you?
Anywhere.
Finance?
Maybe not finance.
Department?
Well, I'm a lawyer. Why not?
So would you want to go there?
Not necessarily.
So where would you want to be?
In governance, it's not necessarily where you want to be. You may see yourself in a different light. Others may see you in a different light. And they would want to push you where they think you can best operate and where you can shine. Yeah. And I think Nana will want to put me where I can shine.
So you're definitely going to be among the first ministers Nana is going to settle on?
And Emmanuel Boajiri will join us shortly after the break with the latest in business.